Let's see what you niggas talking about. Yeah, I don't have a topic. Let me close my garage. Let's see if YouTube sends out the notifications. Maybe bullshitting. YouTube be bullshitting with the notifications. What up, y'all? What's good, y'all? The fuck y'all want to talk about? Got some mullein right here. Jeff Brown told me about this shit. You roll mullein with your weed, you be taking that smoker's cough out. Make some tea out of it. Yeah, mullein. Mullien. It's some kind of plant or a weed. It's some kind of plant or some shit. But anyway, you roll this mullein with your weed, nigga. The weed don't hit your chest as hard. Keeps your vocals clear. I had some of the nastiest weed last week. Oh my god. Shit actually got me pretty high. Like it did the job of getting me high, but the taste. I was like, did they grow this weed in cow shit? Like fresh cow shit from yesterday? That's how I tasted. What's up, y'all? I forgot the name of the shit I'm smoking. I get it the day of, and then I forget what the fuck name it is. Once it go into these jars I have over here, I forget the name of it. All kind of shit. Talk about the playoffs. Playoffs are going pretty good, man. Like shit. What's up, Star? Thank you for coming out to the show. I appreciate that. That meant a lot to me. Seeing you out there at that show, you and your husband. I appreciate that, Star. But the playoffs, Lakers, the Lakers should beat Phoenix. Lakers have more talent than Phoenix. Stop it. People be quick to call me a LeBron James hater, but every time I talk about LeBron James, I always say he's unstoppable. There's nothing anybody can do to stop him. My issue with him always has been he's the one that stops himself. He stops himself before the defense does. If LeBron plays like LeBron, Anthony Davis plays like Anthony Davis, and Montrezl Harrell just set screens and get rebounds, the Lakers will be fine. Yeah, the Phoenix got youth behind them, but they also ain't been in the playoffs in 10 years. The Lakers are the champions. It don't matter if they got youth. The champions should beat Phoenix. But it comes down to how hard LeBron plays. And I don't want to hear no shit about no injuries. Chris Paul's hurt too. Chris Paul's shoulders fucked up. The Lakers better win. The Lakers fucking better win. We had a we had a fun show in Vegas this past weekend, y'all. That's what took me so damn long. I ain't been on because we was in Vegas this weekend. Craig Facts. We had a stand-up show, comedy show. It was like it was our first time back on stage. See, the show was different for a lot of us comics because usually, especially if we have a show like that out of town, where everybody, or usually you've been on stage a lot, regularly. So getting on stage doing comedy is very easy. But during this pandemic here in California, these comedy clubs been shut down. So we ain't been getting no work. So like Craig rented out a theater, a little smaller theater here in Hollywood, just for us to practice. practice our jokes and shit, and get that feel with that sound, with that mic, because we ain't been able to practice. And one thing about stand up is all about timing. If your timing ain't right, it don't matter how funny the joke is that you wrote. If that shit don't come off right every time, they ain't gonna laugh. Like, my biggest issue in stand up comedy is I talk too fucking fast. The same issue I have here podcasting. I get to a point to where my thoughts come faster than I can articulate. So I'll jumble my words or speak too fast. And usually, if I don't get a good laugh at a joke, it's because I was talking too fucking fast and the audience didn't hear it. They have to be able to hear it clearly. It's shit like that in stand up. You can't, you gotta practice. And you gotta always be in front of people, because when you practice it by yourself, that's one thing. But when you have an audience full of people laughing, the energy gets big. There's an energy in the room, and that energy is the same energy that makes someone. I appreciate that, Star. She said I killed it. I appreciate that. It's the difference between when in the NBA, you'll see the players in practice. Most players, even the last player on the bench, is gonna make 90 out of 100 shots in the NBA. But when those lights turn on and the audience is there, it's a different level of pressure. Same thing with comedy. You can practice all you want, but when that audience is there, it's gonna be way different. So if you get on stage regularly, that's nothing. You ain't tripping on that. But we don't get on stage in front of people a lot, and then now first show, thanks and salute to everybody that came to that first show and the second show. But the first show, it was funny, like what happened with me. As soon as I got on stage, I forgot my whole set. For y'all who were at the first show this past Saturday in Vegas, that first show, I forgot my whole set. And as soon as I got on stage, I forgot everything I wanted to say. What up, y'all? Thanks for joining. I forgot everything I wanted to say. So I just started. I pulled from some old jokes. I have some reliable bangers to where I know that if I forget my set, I can just go right into this particular set that I know. Because my style of comedy, I don't memorize. I talk about subjects, and then when I get on stage, I just go in on that subject, and I have forgotten everything. So I have a couple of subjects I can go right into when the set is not going the way I want it to. And I had to do that shit on the first show, and the niggas were laughing too. I had the motherfuckers laughing, but I was disappointed because it wasn't what I wanted to get off. And in the second show, I got off more of what I wanted to get off. So that shit was fun. If we had a third show, I would have just went, ooh. God damn, I miss stand-up comedy. That shit fun. I've been doing stand-up about 10 years now. This year's my 10-year mark. I've had times where I've had times where I've taken time off stage, but I started basically at the beginning of 2010. And the dope part about this show is a lot of old. When I first started comedy, we were all together. Me, Big Jai, Craig, Brent Taylor. When I used to run that show at the Comedy Union, Brent Taylor was my DJ. And Jade would get on every Monday. And so would Craig. Then we had a few other partners come out from LA. It was just dope. It was just a throwback to my initial days in comedy. And it's crazy because we all started together. Now, shit, we got our own show and people coming to see us. We got to circumvent the comedy clubs. Comedy clubs didn't fuck with Craig. Comedy clubs didn't fuck with Jade. Comedy clubs ain't really fuck with me like that. We funnier than a lot of people in the comedy clubs, but that doesn't matter. It's about relationships and whatever the owner chooses. Not only because I had the same relationships as the regulars with these people, but people got their preferences. That's also why these comedy clubs are dying. A lot of these comedy clubs bet on the wrong horse. They didn't bet on underdogs like me and Craig and shit. They did not. Oh shit. God damn. I spit out a good one. Shit. But again, thank you for coming out. I think I'm gonna do. I think I'm gonna do I'm gonna do a basketball broadcast pretty soon. Oh, I'll tell you what I might do. I might have Larry back on pretty soon. Because this whole thing with Matt Barnes and Kwame Brown, this shit's so goddamn funny. This shit's so goddamn funny. Because Matt Barnes' ex-wife Gloria Govine, she used to flirt with this nigga Larry when we were at the Friends and Family Room at Staples Center all the fucking time. To the point I remember Larry telling me that shit was uncomfortable. She used to, and I was like, "Aren't you married to?" And Larry got that same hair as Matt. They got that Becky with the good head top. But Gloria used to be on Larry hard. I've talked about it on the show before, and there's crazy part about it because Gloria was married to Matt Barnes, and Gloria's sister was married to Gilbert Arenas at that time. All that time, Kwame's talking about Matt's girl and how she was flirting with Derek Fisher. Yeah, she used to be on that nigga Larry hard. And I didn't like, it ain't nothing we ever bragged about. We don't really talk about it like that because we both had and still do. We have respect for Matt. You don't want to be getting flirted at by some nigga's wife and you got respect for the nigga. That's not what honorable men do. Honorable men don't fuck with other men's wives. She married, that's his. Honorable men don't fuck with that. And Larry's an honorable dude. Honorable dude. Somebody said when I'm researching a topic, do I check for the validity? Look here, homie. Most of my shows off the top of my head, you dig? I'm a naturally curious person. I've always been curious. So when I have a subject that I'm talking, but I remember because I have a good fucking memory. When I'm talking, some of the stuff that I'm saying may be something I learned yesterday, combined with things I learned 20 years ago, combined with things I learned 5 months ago, combined with things I learned 7 years ago. All right? Always be observant of the world around you. Most of my shows I pull from memory. If it's a particular study that I'm doing now, like I've done reports, I did on the LAP on the LA County Sheriff Department. I gave you all the links on that article because it was a whole study and I was just doing a broadcast on a particular study. In those situations, I'm gonna give you the links and the resources. But other shit just be off the top of my head. I have a good memory. And you look it up. Shit. Because you know what I do when someone I'm listening to says something that's interesting to me? I go back and rewind. This is the beauty of YouTube. This is the beauty of YouTube. Oh no, I take that. I'm speaking in general. I did not take your question. All right, brother. This ain't about your question. It's in general. In general, when I listen to somebody and they say something that piques my antennas, I rewind and I go back and hear what they said, and then I Google that shit. And then when I Google it, I don't just look for articles. If I can, I look for books. Because the people that I listen to, they usually point you in the direction of books. Because remember, the real information is still in books. The articles, smarticles. It's just, something that's written. Articles they're cool. They're good references. But the real information is in the books. And so a lot of that real information, unfortunately, because Google has scrubbed so much of the shit offline, like a lot of your factual stuff, like you can't even find pictures of Gary Webb's. Like whenever you tell people that Gary Webb shot himself twice, and when they said he killed himself, the guy who exposed the crack epidemic in LA, you used to be able to Google Gary Webb and those pictures come right up. Now you gotta search and search and search and search and search. They done basically scrubbed the internet of this shit. So a lot of things that used to be posted online that had real information, a lot of that shit's been scrubbed or hidden. They changed the keyword search, and a lot of that stuff is not around anymore. So if you really, really want to know, you got to be willing to hit them books. And another reason why I stopped, I don't really give too many references, because like I'll give references. Like I said, if it's on a specific topic, I am going to reference. But like on these Q&As, I'll tell you books, but I don't take the time to go back in the description to. I don't take the time to go back into the description to look for what's going on. I mean, to link what's going on, because I'm like, the people who are serious about researching, they'll find it. And the people who, because there's always these trolls, again, not you, the person that asked that question, not you. But like I'll get in the comment section after I do a video, it'd be some jackass in the comments. Well, where are your articles? I'm like, them kind of people, they not gonna look it up anyway. But at the same time, they'll believe whatever a white person says. So it's like, why do all that extra work for somebody who, no matter what I put in front of them, they're not gonna read it? And if a white person says anything that contradicts anything in any of those books that I told that person, they're going to believe the white person's word over the books I point them to. Somebody said they scrubbed Dr. Sebi's videos. They did? See, that's why I got to stop being lazy. I got to go back. I bought this external hard drive. And the whole point of my external hard drive is to just have videos from like YouTube and stuff like that. And I've been meaning to go back and get all the Neely Fuller I can get, because I know that the minute Neely Fuller Jr. dies, they're gonna take all that shit down. So I gotta go back and just download as much Neely Fuller as I can. You're right. They done took down most Dr. Sebi interviews. Wow. Like that one with him laying in the bed smoking a joint with like his 16, like with his 26-year-old girlfriend, and he was like 71 years old. They took all that shit down. And Nick Cannon probably ain't coming out with that movie. Wow. They really took all of Dr. Sebi's videos down off YouTube. And You're right, Kenneth. They are they are almost scrub Dr. Phil Valentine. Anytime someone interviews Dr. Phil Valentine, their channel get fucked up. They took Zoe Williams' channel down for a week. Brother Rich, Black Magic 363, he interviewed Dr. CB about 3 months ago, and they shut his whole fucking channel down. He had to get it back. Like, yeah, he got it back a week later. All from interviewing Dr. Phil Valentine. But it's okay. It's okay. Because God got something to work. This is a new day. This is a new day. They trying to silence us, but it won't happen. We're in a new age. We're in a new age where the old tactics will no longer work on the people. It's in the numbers, it's in the cosmos, and if anybody walks around paying attention to what they see, it's in the air. You can feel it. You see it. What do Tariq call this shit? Pull up summer? Niggas wasn't pulling up like this 3 years ago. Look at how open we are. This nigga, Kwame Brown, had 4,000 YouTube subs this past Monday. Today's Monday. Last Monday, he had 4,000 YouTube subs. Now the nigga over 200,000. All from saying some real shit. You're right, y'all. We are in the age of information. Star, I thought I had you as a moderator. Did you? I thought I had Star as a moderator. I'll do it next time on my computer. I can't do no moderators. I'm on my iPad right now. I'll do it on my computer. I think I'm gonna do a show in the morning. I don't know what I want to talk about, but I do want to talk about how they really what's going on with gentrification here in LA. They're trying to shut down the Burn Park, keep black people out. I do want to talk about that. But you are right, Mark. This generation ain't bound down. This generation ain't got time for that bullshit. Look, I am a millennial. I'll be 40 next month. I am a millennial, first year millennial, 1981. We different. We are different. Those coming up behind us are different. Yeah, Star, I'll mod you up when I do a broadcast from my computer. Then I can mod you up from there. Kind of hard to do from this iPad. We millennials, we different, man. We are different. We had to grow up our whole life. People telling us, "You millennials, these millennials don't want anything. These millennials are lazy. All these millennials do is stay on the internet. Millennial this, millennial that." We had to hear that shit all through our teens and all through our 20s, especially in our 20s and 30s. Even now, you got people talking about these damn millennials. I'm like, nigga, do you realize millennials is 40 now, motherfucker? Older Gen X, y'all different. Gen X is almost like the forgotten class because the baby boomers are so huge and they took so many resources, and the baby boomers they way past their time. They should have been kicked out. Then Generation X came along, but when Generation X got to the age of controlling things, the baby boomers wouldn't let go. So when you're dealing with the older Generation X, the Generation X didn't go to the baby boomers and punch them in the mouth and say we taking this shit. So the Generation X didn't really get to impose their will on their time. Look who's president. Matter of fact, Joe Biden is older than a baby boomer. Joe Biden is from the World War II generation. He's not even a boomer. That nigga's World War II generation. Hillary and Barack, they're boomers. When the Generation X is time to lead, Generation X didn't take control from baby boomers. No one's going to give up control. Generation X, their big mistake was they did not take control. So we millennials came along, and here we is. Boom, get out the way. Now we starting to run shit. It's our voices that's speaking out. You're right, Trump was a baby boomer as well. But Generation X didn't kick them niggas out the way. And I'm not talking all Generation X. We know, like, I'm not shitting on Generation X. Generation X had a lot going on for them. But Generation X let the baby boomers punk them. Well, I can't say that I'm punking them. The baby boomers kind of fucked them up, especially economically with the resources. Baby boomers held so many resources from Generation X. But at the same time, they gave Generation X enough resources to not totally revolt. Generation X had its revolt in the early 80s, late 90s. I remember growing up when I was a kid, like when I was 10 years old, 9 years old. I remember like all the year who were older than me, the kids in high school, the kids just out of like in college, the Malcolm X medallions. You know what I mean? X-Clan was hot. You know, most rappers were from the 3% Nation. So there was a consciousness in the music of Generation X. But there wasn't much action behind the consciousness because at the same time you got the counter programming of go to college, that whole Bill Cosby line of thinking, go to college, get a degree, you know, because at the same time you had the consciousness in hip hop, you had the Cosby Show, and then you had not the Cosby, what's a different world. A different world. Then you got the movie School Days, which predated a different world. You have Fresh Prince of Bel Air. All those shows were about black folks going to college and following the program. I love the Fresh Prince of Bel Air, one of my favorite shows of all time. But the purpose of Fresh Prince of Bel Air was to tell black folks to go to college. Like Uncle Phil was a lot of people's daddy. Go to college and do it the right way. I remember there was one episode of The Fresh Prince. Go back and watch. Go back and watch. Uncle Phil, there was some lady that Uncle Phil went to college with. And I guess she was supposed to be like portraying Angela Davis. But she was still with the movement, you know, all about black power. But they had her running from the police. And then they had, at the end of the episode, they had Uncle Phil and the black power lady kind of had a standoff. And she's still on Fight the Power. And he's like, I am fighting the power by going to law school and doing it the right way. And I'm not shitting on, because there are people who have gone to law school and done it the right way. But they were basically kind of shitting on the militant-minded black person. So Gen X got caught in that middle. Gen X on one side had the militant music, you know, of NWA, you know, They had that, but on KRS-One. But on the other hand, the TV programming had them totally buying into this go to college and you'll achieve the American dream bullshit. That's what they had us on. So we millennials, we grew up watching this. We millennials, like for me, I saw my sister go to college. And I remember when my sister was going to college and my brother, I remember seeing how expensive it was. I was observing in the eighth grade, seventh grade, while my sister's on all these college tours. And I'm seeing how much it costs. I'm like, they've been telling me to go to college my whole life, but they didn't tell me it costs that much money. And I saw the sacrifices my parents put in to pay for my sister to go to college. And I saw my sister make a wise decision and not fly across the world to go to college. More so staying at home and staying in the Cal State system to keep it cheap. So when I saw it, I was like, okay, if I do this shit, I want to do the junior college route, then the Cal State route. So me, I don't owe any student loans. You know what I mean? But I kind of saw through the bullshit. I think that was like part of the characteristic of just us us millennials, especially as indigo millennial. I'm an indigo. Our indigo millennials, we just see shit different. And we benefit from seeing, we saw how the Generation X was tricked by baby boomers. That's why we hear the millennials talk. We never talk shit about Gen X. Because Gen X ain't the ones that showed us on this bullshit. It was the fucking baby boomers. Gen X was screwed over by the baby boomers. That's the main reason why you never see millennials talk shit about Gen X. Because we know it wasn't them. We just wish Gen X kicked them niggas out the way when it was their turn. They didn't. So here we are. And that's what we're doing. Pull up some millennial shit. Kwame Brown's a millennial. The reason why I fucks with what Kwame Brown is doing so tough is because I come from that, not come from, but I've been immersed in that NBA environment. And he's speaking a lot to that. I see a lot of my people in the D1 family. I was in the Melanoid 300 group, Tariq's group, and I see a lot of people kind of backing off Kwame Brown because Kwame Brown mentioned Candace Owens and Tommy Sotomayor. And I get it, you know what I mean? And I see certain things with Kwame Brown. I see how it can off-put certain people with how Republican leaning he is. Although I've never seen him pick a side with the political party. So I get it, but y'all know me, my philosophy. You don't follow people, you follow ideas, ideology. Oh yeah, they say you like Larry Elder. I can see it. When oftentimes when you're dealing with black folks that dealt with a lot of tragedy within their own environment, when a lot of black people have experienced tragedy within their own environment, that whole Larry Elder sound bite of cleaning up our own neighborhoods is a very attractive message because of what people see. So I get it. I get why he would like that, but my thing is follow messages that are wise to you. If you feel wisdom in what someone is saying, follow the wisdom, never the person, including me. I'll be the first one to put myself out there. If I say something that doesn't vibrate with your internal wisdom, It's okay to disagree and think something different because I come to my conclusions based off my experiences in life. Other people go to their conclusions based off their experiences in life. You're right, Buck. Sheldon. Oppressed people believe every bad thing said about themselves. So don't follow people. I've been having a great time watching Kwame Brown videos. These shits over the last week have been so goddamn funny. I ain't laughed so hard at the internet in so long. I love what he's doing. And I agree with what he's talking about when it comes to the sports thing. But he's also very conservative. But he's from the backwoods of the country. Remember, black folks, we are conservative people now. This whole liberal shit, that's only been since 1960. We've always been conservative. Frederick Douglass was conservative. Frederick Douglass said immigration wasn't going to be shit for black folks. We need to focus on ourselves. Booker T. Washington was conservative. Martin Luther King was conservative. We're very conservative people. We've just been allowing the Democrats to pimp us into co-signing their agenda, using our numbers to push their agenda, which is very anti-black. They did a good job of conflating liberal and black, but that's all been propaganda. That's not who we really are. So I understand Kwame being a conservative and being attracted to that message. My only question is, what is he saying that's relevant to what's going on? And another way I judge people is, do you go as hard at white folks as you do black folks? And he went just as hard at Rachel Nichols. He went harder at Rachel Nichols than he did Jamel Hill. And both of them deserve that work, by the way. He went hard on Skip Bayless' bitch ass. People should be doing this shit on Skip Bayless 15 years ago. So stay focused on the message. Now when the message starts being off, move on to the next. Or just say, I disagree with this particular topic with this brother. And now, you know, we don't need to be following people, man. We really don't. That's dangerous. Not only is it dangerous to you, it's dangerous to the person. When they see a group of black folks following one person, they want to have something happen to that person. If they don't outright kill him, trump up some bogus charges on him, smear his name. That's right, Willie Beeman. The code is a leader. And every person that comes with a message ain't nothing but the 4x100. It's just a baton being passed. That's right, Star. It's just a baton being passed. You don't follow these people. You follow the message. Sometimes this particular person may have a message. But lead yourself. Create your code of conduct. And lead yourself. So if one day Kwame Brown comes out and says, hey, you know, what about black on black crime? We need to vote for fucking Sarah Palin and vote red or be dead or whatever, and if just say hypothetically he becomes a shield for the Republicans, what you gonna do? Stop being pro-black and getting yours because he made a decision? And I'm not saying it's gonna happen because I don't believe I don't see Kwame going for either party. He did say he a Geechee. Them niggas is different. They different. Can't motivate them much shit. The Geechees kept the United States fucking government off their land. So any Geechee that's tied to their heritage, I'm sure there are thousands of Geechee out there who don't know they're Geechee. But for those who are Geechee, they know they're Geechee and they're tied to that cultural lineage, you don't fuck with them. Don't fuck with them. They mind their own business. Remember that. But yeah, I just want to come in and check in with y'all because it's been a minute. I think I'm gonna go live tomorrow morning. I might. If I do, it'll be around 9 or 10. It depends on what I wake up feeling like talking about. But I did not want to go another minute without checking in with y'all. We had fun. Thank you again. Thank you everyone who came out to the show. It was dope seeing. We had people flying from New York. We had a couple people flying from Chicago. We had people from all the country, all across the country, coming in to watch us perform. That felt good. That felt real good. Yeah, Detroit. Y'all know I love sitting with my boxing glove on. Be hitting that heavy bag every day. Marvin Hagler, rest in peace. But yeah, we had that. How do you buy the book? Go to my website, hotepish.com. Click on merchandise, or type in hotepish.com/apparel. The book is gonna be right up there up front. Ooh, I can't wait for Wilder versus Fury. Wilder gonna beat his motherfucking ass. And I can't wait for Pacquiao versus Errol Spence. Errol Spence is the #1 pound for pound fighter in boxing. Errol Spence is gonna beat the dog shit out of Manny Pacquiao. I'm Muhammad Ali, motherfucker. Yeah. Yeah, Fury ain't gonna have no. Look at this glove. This is a regular old sparring glove. This ain't even a professional boxing glove. If I hit something, you see it doesn't jiggle. This motherfucker Tyson Fury's pad. Every time he hit Deontay Wilder, it was at the top part where the cushion is, kind of went over his head, but he still got hit with a blunt object. That's because his fist, he was sliding his glove, and his fist would be down here. He had a little glove, and his sparring partner, Osbury, talked about it because he was sparring against it, and he felt the shit. He had a glove that he could pull back and put his knuckles back here. So that's why, like when he was hitting Wilder, the top part of the glove was kind of skinning over to Wilder's head, but the motherfucking knuckles was hitting Deontay Wilder flush. And Deontay Wilder got the medical records to prove it. But yeah, Errol Spence is gonna beat the shit out of Manny Pacquiao. Gonna send his ass into retirement. But I respect Pacquiao for taking his fight so late in his career. For fighting the coldest motherfucker at 147 at the end of his career. One is gonna pay him the most because Spence is a bigger draw than Crawford or anyone else. Gonna pay him. But yeah, we got that fight coming up finally. Punch looks so goddamn weak. Yeah, I don't want Patrick to hurt himself. He's going for the money though. We're fighting Spence. It's the biggest money he can get. Oh, shit, I'm about to get up out of here. I'm tired as hell. Drove back from Vegas today. Been busy as fuck all goddamn day. As soon as I got back from Vegas, I had to get back to running 2 different companies and 4 apartment buildings. Work was waiting on my ass the minute I got home. But I work for myself, so I ain't tripping. I don't have a boss I gotta call to say, hey, I'm going to Vegas. And I originally was gonna come back on Sunday, but we was having so much fun, I extended the shit till Monday, and I didn't have to call anybody. I didn't have to check in with no fucking manager. I didn't have to call no boss. Man, that felt good. I'm about to get up out of here, y'all. Remember, y'all can still get the book and the webinar on my website. Get your t-shirts now. I got some more new dope t-shirts on the way. Alright? I'm holler at y'all maybe tomorrow morning. If not, definitely Wednesday morning.